Good evening, everyone, and welcome to High School Girls Volleyball on Aycorp Sports. We're coming to you from the Jackson High School Event Center in Jackson, Missouri. The Indians are set to take on defending Class 4 state champions, the Red Knights of Incarnate Word Academy out of St. Louis. Alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Carl Ritter, I'm Philip Britt. So excited to be back in the booth for girls volleyball. Coach, welcome to our girls volleyball broadcast team.
Thank you, Philip. I'm glad to be here. I got a good taste of broadcasting with you last spring, doing a couple of boys matches. And then, of course, taking over here for Steve Beidler, who assisted you last year since he took over the head job in Sykeston. So I'm pleased to take his place. We're looking for a great match tonight. I'm sure this will be a great match between the Jackson Indians and the Incarnate Word Red Knights. As you know, I think Incarnate Word was the state champions in Class 4 last year. I think they're going to have one of their best players out for this evening. However, you know, Jackson's got some solid kids as well. A couple of freshmen that's been moved up. They're good, solid players as well.
You know, Jackson has started off the season 6-0, which is a great mark for them. They won their little Jackson tournament they had this past weekend. Teams from Mississippi and Illinois and Missouri, and so that was a really good win for them to be able to pull that off. Incarnate Word, on the other hand, they just got back from, over Labor Day weekend, they were in Florida for the Nike Tournament of Champions. It's an invitation-only tournament, and they end up going 4-2 down there. Their only two losses of the season were down there against Gainesville High School and DeLand High School, both from Florida. So they're solid. They returned two all-state players. One of those you mentioned is Greenberry. She's on the bench tonight because she has a shoulder injury. Talked to Coach Dave Murley from Jackson earlier, and he said that sounded like that she just had to use that shoulder too much, and so I think they've just been resting her and doing physical therapy with her to get her back in shape. They hope to have her back sometime late this month or early October. Better not to stress that right now for her.
Exactly. At this time of year, this match really doesn't mean a thing. So if I was the coach, I'd be resting her as well.
She's committed to the University of Houston, all-state player the last 2 years in class. We mentioned they were champions in Class 4 last year. They've actually moved up to Class 5 this year. So they're in the same class with Jackson this year.
Yeah, I believe that whenever a private school wins the state championship, they automatically get bumped up in class. Usually
moves them up, absolutely right. The other all-state player for Incarnate Word is Ellie Whithouse. She's a senior outside hitter. She's number 9. We'll be calling her name a lot tonight. Coach Murley was up here talking to us earlier from Jackson, and he said that in a game last week they set her in the match. They set her 52 times. And the next most was set 17 times. So obviously she's their horse, and they're going to keep riding her as long as they can.
Absolutely.
So we're ready for starting lineups. We may do the national anthem first.
And welcome to tonight's matchup against Incarnate Word versus Jackson High School Lady Indians. Please rise.
So we're going to take a quick break for the national anthem, and we'll be right back for our starting lineups. And we're back here at Jackson High School for the starting lineup for the Incarnate Word Red Knights. Number 2, Lexi Schmid. Number 5, Molly Stevens. Number 7, Sydney Clark. Number 8, Bailey Hingens. Number 9, Ellie Whithouse. We mentioned her earlier. She's the Maryville University commit, all-state player. Number 11, Allie Fuchs is the libero for this team. And then Kate McCullough, number 14. That's their first 7.
The lights go off.
The lights go off for
the
your
Jackson Indian lineup.
Absolutely.
That's what happens when you get the home court. You can.
I've watched a couple of Incarnate Words games at home, and they do the same thing with their starting lineup. So for the Jackson Indians, number 1, Maddie Yulesman. She's a senior defensive specialist. Number 2, Lila Sands, a 6-foot junior. She's their middle hitter.
Lila played HP Rural the last 2 years and had been at the national tournament, USAV National Open Division. She played Open for HP Rural out of St. Louis. Lila did.
So it was Lynn Avery Crowley and then Katie Wandell. Number 11, Avery Bruni. Avery Bruni is a freshman, 5'11", outside hitter. She's tied with Katie St. John for kills on this team with 50 on the season. I mean, she's a solid freshman.
Yeah, she's a great player. Her mom played for Southeast Missouri State University. So.
Okay. And there's Katie St. John, definitely their leader on this team. And number 24, Lauren Dory, 6'2" freshman. So I tell you what, and number 26, Ava Wessel. I tell you what, we watched and number 36, Kat Ellefson. She's a junior. We watched a pretty amazing junior varsity match with a couple of freshmen on that team that could start on just about any varsity around, but they can't make this squad. But here are 2 freshmen that are on this squad, and you got to be really solid as a freshman to make the varsity at Jackson High School.
Absolutely. Both of those kids, actually a lot of those kids in that court, those 2 freshmen, I think their club team was at the national tournament. They were at the national tournament this past summer in Las Vegas.
Okay.
A lot of those girls you were mentioning on the JV for Jackson.
Right.
They play for our club here at NSSC, and a lot of those girls were at the national tournament in Las Vegas this summer as well. So
wow.
We've got a lot of kids here tonight that's probably seen the national tournament
with a lot of experience. Even though they're young, they've got a lot of experience.
Absolutely.
So we're ready for what we expect to be a tremendous match between 2 really, really solid volleyball squads. We don't often get a chance to see a team like Incarnate Word down here playing in Southeast Missouri, so it's good to get a chance to see them play. For Jackson to bring them, they played at Incarnate Word last year, Jackson did, and Incarnate Word won early in the season. And so this year they were down here to play Jackson, so we're excited about getting this opportunity to see them play.
And both squads have phenomenal head coaches, so it should be a good matchup between these 2.
Absolutely. Dave Murley's in his 8th year here at Jackson, and Coach Shane Weber is in his 5th year at Incarnate Word. He won the state championship with them last year, which was their 12th state championship in school history. And he'd won 2 at Villa Duchesne before that. So he's been a very successful coach as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to start it off. Number 24, Lauren Dory with the serve for Jackson. First big swing comes from Sydney Clark for Incarnate Word. Picked up nicely. Kate McCullough that time, but hit it out. So first blood's drawn by the Jackson Indians. Lauren Dory, one of the 2 freshmen starting on this Jackson squad, is back to serve again. And serves it long. Nice play that time to recognize that by Ellie Woodhouse on the back row for Incarnate Word.
Absolutely, and 2 teams at this level, your servers, they got to be aggressive. So you're probably going to see a few serves go long today, just for that reason.
So Audrey Schaefer with the serve for Incarnate Word. There's the first swing by Katie St. John. That's out. Katie St. John is already, before she started her senior year, already the leading hitter in the history of Jackson High School. She's a 4-year starter for this team. There's a nice hit, picked up nicely by Fuchs. Free ball back over. Let's see what Jackson can do with that. Set to the outside. Nice block, but nice pickup by, that's Avery Bruni on the front row over there. That was a nice play by her. Oh, and a big double block that time with St. John on the outside of it. Good defense on the net by Jackson this rotation. There's Bruni with the hit, picked up nicely by Fuchs. Just reminiscent of the JV match we saw earlier, which there was lots of good defense being played back and forth. Hit long that time by Woodhouse. So
those clubs are doing a really good job at the net blocking and doing the job there. That's where the defense starts, is at the blocking.
Absolutely.
So both teams are doing a great job with that right now.
Katie Wandell with the serve that time. There was Molly Stevens with a little dink to the right and put it down where there was no one on defense that time. The block was up and she just tipped around it. So Abby Jones is in to serve for Incarnate Word. Yeah. So Incarnate Word's up now 4-2. Jones back to serve again. Lefty with a nice serve. That was a tough.
Yes, absolutely. Very
serve. Aggressive
serve. Just like I mentioned earlier,
Yep.
These teams are going to serve very aggressive. I can tell you Shane Weber's going to have his kids serving aggressive because he knows that's actually where the offense starts. Because those teams, that they've got to be able to receive that hard ball, and they're going to serve aggressively.
And you know this, anytime you've got someone serving left-handed, it's not something you see as oh, there's Katie St. John with a nice hit right into the open court. No block up on her that time to get a piece of that one. Bruni back to serve for Jackson. Picked up nicely, set outside to Woodhouse. Off the block, picked up nicely by the Jackson Indians. Set back out to Woodhouse again. That time finds an open space off hands. Off the defender in the back row, Ulsman. Nice play by her. By Woodhouse on the hit. Ella Von Allman back to serve for the Red Knights. They opened up on that one and it was in.
Yeah, she split that passing lane there between St. John and the Bruni girl, and she did it very effectively, splitting both of the passers.
So Von Allman back to serve again with a 7-3 lead. Serves this one long. So 7-4 now with St. John in the back row now, back to serve. For the Indians. Nice serve, picked up, but a tough play from the serve receive on that one. For Incarnate Word, the serve receive was a tough serve, and she didn't get it to her setter where it should have gone. St. John back to serve again, trailing 7-5 right now. Good strong serve, picked up nicely that time. Woodhouse with a good hit, but picked up by Jackson's. That was Hinston. Hingens, I don't know if it's her sister or not. There was a Hingen that graduated last year that was an all-state setter for this Incarnate Word team, and I'm going to guess that they're probably related.
Probably. Jackson's putting up that double block on that middle, and that left back's not pulling up to cover that tip. And Incarnate Word, they're gonna keep doing that until Jackson adjusts.
Right. And they see those things. They're really good at seeing those things. Good pickup by Fuchs that time on the hit by Ellefson. That time off hands and out of bounds. 9-5 now the lead for Incarnate Word here in set number 1. Woodhouse is back to serve. Ellie Woodhouse, the all-stater for Incarnate Word. Serves to the middle to Ulsman. A double hit on the second hit. Woodhouse back to serve again. Nice serve.
That's great. Good serve. She's serving very aggressively, and you can tell by watching her she's very confident in what she's doing.
That ball just dove on the serve receive.
Absolutely.
So we're going to take a quick break during this timeout called by Jackson. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
What First State Community Bank means to me is, it says it in its name, community.
We're family, we care about one another, whether it's in our SEMO markets or we can reach out to someone in Farmington, Columbia. They're always there to assist.
We are very customer focused. Our employees do a great job with listening to the customers.
The tellers know 100% of all customers by their name.
If you want to feel at home, then walk into the doors of First State Community Bank.
Welcome back to the Jackson High School Event Center, the Jackson High School Gymnasium, where the Jackson Indians are hosting, taking on the Incarnate Word Academy Red Knights from St. Louis. Currently the Red Knights are up 11-5 on Jackson. As you mentioned, Coach, the Red Knights are serving aggressively. They're playing aggressively offensively, and right now, Jackson's got to respond.
Absolutely, and they're going to continue to serve aggressively as well.
It's a little out of system that time and caused the hit to go long by Dory that time.
Dory's that freshman, and you may see a little bit of freshman. I mean, she's got a lot of experience, however,
right,
she's still a freshman.
Sure. So Woodhouse with the serve again. And there's Dory with hit off the block that time. Good block, double block up in the front row there. Nice hit that time by Dory. They switched her over to the right side, and she drove that across court, and really nice placement of that ball.
Six serving 12. Jackson's trailing.
Right. Winston back to serve, the libero back to serve for the Indians. Free ball back over. Quick set to the middle, but out and no touch. No one saw a touch, so Coach Murley was asking for it, but I think it missed the block. That quick set to the middle can be effective, but she just hit it out. Lexi Schmidt back to serve for the Incarnate Word Red Knights. Alexi's a 5'5" sophomore. And served it out. Again, being aggressive, trying to hit it right down that line, but just a little bit to the right of the line. Lexi's their setter as well. So Kat Ellefson is back to serve for the Jackson Indians, and that's in.
A serve, overhand top spin serve.
Yep, got right over the top of it and put it right down just inside the line. You'll notice here a lot of times in high school volleyball we'll have non-official line judges, but here at Jackson you'll almost always see officials calling the lines, especially in a big game like this. There's Hinstons again with the hit out of the middle. That was a nice hit, quick hit.
Yeah, and I believe she's just a sophomore as well.
That's right. So Fuchs is back to serve for the Red Knights. She's a libero. She kind of anchors this back row. She's really solid back there. She's already shown some nice defensive plays. Nice pickup by the libero for Jackson. Good hit that time by Kate McCullough for the Red Knights. It's 15-8 now. Fuchs back to serve for the Red Knights again. Tried to cut that too fine. And also hit off the tape on the top of the net, and you never know where it's going to go when it does that.
It was a good aggressive swing by the freshman. And she seen the block, and she made every attempt to get around that block, and she did. She just got the top of the tape. If she hadn't hit the top tape, it would have been in.
Probably would have been down. You're right. It rode that tape down and ended up going out. Dory reached out, long reach there to pick that up and keep it in. There she is again, but nice pickup that time by Woodhouse in the back row. I mean, she's a great hitter, but she's a heck of an all-around player as well. She plays solid in the back row as well. A little bit of miscommunication there by the Red Knights, but still got a good hit on the ball. Schmid with the set and a double hit. That rule's changed in college, hasn't it, Carl?
It has. It has. The double contact's only called if it's an attack over into the opponent's
net. Right.
Over the net.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's and I thought they were changing it for high school, but I guess they didn't.
They didn't change the rule. I mean, they made a point of emphasis on the on ball handling.
Right.
So I think the idea behind it, and that was 4 hits. That ball didn't come across the net, so that was 4 hits. But I think the point behind it is to keep the game moving, because there's a lot of those double hits on sets that just kind of stop the play.
And the other issue you have is you have the inconsistency
in calling it. Right.
In calling it, some officials call it much tighter.
Sure.
So I kind of like the rule change. Hopefully it'll come to high school, which I think it will.
I'm sure it will. And anything that happens in college often comes to the high school level at some point. A lot of nice defense going on in this rally. Woodhouse just took a hard swing cross court and hit that one out. So it's 17-10 now with Jackson back to serve. Katie Wandell back to serve for the Indians. I'm not sure if that ball was going to be in or not, but Schmid picked it up, and then the libero couldn't handle it. It was right on the line, though. It was close. Wandell back to serve again for the Indians. That's right on the net. Lila Sands got a little bit
little over inches there,
that.
And she just didn't get up there quite quick enough. She's a great player, too. I mean, Lila's a great player. And I honestly doubt that she misses very many of those in her day. So
that's the one we talk about. Your eyes get so big when you see that. Sometimes you get a little too excited. Abby Jones with the left-handed serve. Katie St. John with a solid swing, but blocked by the double block. Nice shoe hit over the block that time. She was quicker and put it right down in the back corner, right down the line.
Jackson still trailing 12-18.
Right. Bruni back to serve now for the Jackson Indians. 5'11" freshman. Nice aggressive serve to the back row. There's Woodhouse with a solid hit.
Yeah, and they put a triple block on her. She just went over that block. She took a little off of it, maintained a little ball control and just went over them.
She's a very confident hitter for sure. And they set her a lot. You know, we mentioned earlier that they set her so many times in that game last week, but she's been set a lot tonight. She's always on that outside ready to hit.
Well, when you got an all-stater, you're gonna push the ball to her for sure.
And there you do it again, and
just like
another point. Absolutely. And Dory was there. Just that ball got on her so fast, there wasn't much she could do about it. Ella Von Allman back to serve for the Red Knights at 20-12. Nice swing that time by Katie St. John. You know, I never fail to mention that it seems like, you know, whoever wins that race to 20 has a huge advantage in a game like this, a psychological advantage for one thing.
Absolutely. I've seen teams come back though, but
absolutely. But it's a challenge.
It's a challenge, and it's always nice to get to that 21st.
Right. Nice. Now that was poached, and she did not get over anxious on that one. That was Ellefson, and that was a nice hit on a ball passed back over the net. It's nice to see the Jackson student section full tonight for this volleyball matchup.
Yeah, there's actually a fairly good crowd here tonight.
There is.
On both sides of the sidelines.
Right, long serve there.
And it does look like Incarnate Word brought a few people as well. So
they did.
But, you know, they're volleyball tradition school, so it's to be expected.
Absolutely. You know, they're very, very good in sports. They had several state championship basketball teams in the last decade and a half. So they're very lots of good athletics at Incarnate Word Academy. So 22-14 now. They've stretched their lead out a little bit. Incarnate Word has. Whithouse with the serve. Now that they've got her in the back row, that should be good for Jackson, but it's still tough this team's solid in front row no matter what. Whithouse with a good pickup. There's Hinchton's tipping it to the right, picked up nicely. Dory with a strong hit, but the block was there.
Good dig there.
Good defense. It's Ellefson with the hit that time. A little out of system that time, and there's Dory to put it down. That pass was over the net, and she was ready for it.
And at 6'2", she made it look really easy.
Sure did, absolutely. That's what Greenberry, who's for Incarnate Word, who's 6'3" and a strong, solid player, brings to this team when she's able to play. She's just a presence on that front row that's hard to get over. Quick set across the net and down. Smart play that time.
That was a dump by Ava Wessel.
Yep. Wessel with a really smart play that time. She saw that opening in the middle of the court and dropped that ball right into it. Winston with the serve. Quick set in the middle, picked up nicely in the back row that time. Everybody's working hard on the net. Hinchton's with the swing and out and no touch. The Incarnate Word bench was hoping for a touch on that one, but there was no touch. Incarnate Word with the timeout. Jackson is pulled back to within 5, 22-17. So we'll take a quick break and be right back.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag. Back and better than ever. Just $6.99. Mix and match any 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Any 2 plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck.
And we're back here in Jackson High School. Coach Ritter and I were sitting here watching that commercial of Hardee's, and so if you happen to be in the boot heel, go by Hardee's of Malden and have a burger or a hot ham and cheese. They both look pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think Hardee's even has some really awesome chicken tenders too. I've had them several times at Hardee's. So
absolutely. So
absolutely support them because they're supporting volleyball.
That's right. All right. So we're back. Amory Winston with the serve. Picked up a little out of system there for Incarnate Word. Set to Dory, and she puts it down in between the defenders that time on the back row for Incarnate Word. No lack of communication there, I think, Coach.
Exactly. The defender just wasn't right in the position she needed to be in.
So Winston back to serve again. Picked up by Fuchs. Free ball back over. Let's see what Jackson can do with it. Nice set back to Dory. Huge block that time. Huge block by Hinstons and Kate McCullough that time.
I will say that I think both teams are doing a good job slowing the ball down on the block. Blockers are getting there. They're doing a really good job closing the blocks for the most part, which makes the game even more interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's two teams with solid defense for sure. Set to the back row that time to Bruni. There's Hingens again with a nice swing down. So it's set point for the Red Knights of Incarnate Word Academy. Lexi Schmid, the setter, is back to serve at set point. Her serve is long and out. She was trying to hit that back corner and got a little bit too much on it. So 24-19 now. Substitution for Jackson. Lynn Avery Crowley in to serve for the Indians. Free ball back over, a rare free ball for either one of these teams. There's most every time you're going to get a hit of some kind. And she was in the net. So good swing, but caught the net, and that's set number one to the Red Knights of Incarnate Word Academy. 24-19 is our final score.
25.
25-19, you're right. Yeah, you can't win at 24. 25-19 is our final score for set number one. So we're going to take a quick break in between these sets, and we'll be right back to discuss that set and what to expect in set number two.
Do you need personalized merchandise? Trying to celebrate the season of that big state run? Then Juju Promotions in New Madrid has you covered. Whether it's heat presses, screen printing, or embroidery, we always have an option that will leave you satisfied and looking your best. With seasonal styles and plenty of accessories, there's something here for everyone. So come in and shop around. You'll be welcome with a smile and leave more fashionable than ever. Call us at 573-748-4040 or visit us in New Madrid.
And we're back here in Jackson High School Gymnasium. So, Coach, the first set went as a lot of folks would have expected. Incarnate Word comes in probably as a little bit of a favorite tonight, but we knew that they were without their best player, and so we didn't know exactly how that was going to be. But it was a solid match back and forth, both teams playing well. What did you see that really impressed you, and then what do you expect in this next set?
Well, I felt like that both teams were doing a great job at the net blocking. Defensively, both teams were serving aggressively, which at this level you got to. If you don't serve aggressively, then the pass is going to be on target, and you're going to find yourself defending a really hard-hit ball. So you've got to try to take these teams out of their offense by serving aggressively. Both teams are doing a good job doing that. We've seen some serve long, which I mentioned to you at the very beginning. That's going to happen. Mm-hmm. However, at the end of the day, you can't serve passively in a match like this.
Right. And even with that aggressive service, and they're hitting the ball hard, but both teams have received really well. I mean, their back rows have done well, and we've seen very few. I mean, we've seen a few, but very few relatively few out of system handling of the ball or free balls back over. We saw a couple right there at the end of that first set from Incarnate Word, but we didn't see very many. Most every possession ended with a pretty hard hit. So,
both teams are doing a great job passing the ball for the most part. And defensively, they're both doing a great job defending the ball as well.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue with their game plan, and they should. I mean, both of them were effective with their game plan. It's just that Incarnate Word went on a couple of little runs that got them ahead, and then they were just able to hold on.
Exactly.
So it looks like everybody's getting set. Referee's making sure everybody's in their appropriate location to start the set. Libero comes in to take place. The place. Fuchs comes in for Hinstons, and we are ready to begin set number 2. Incarnate Word has the serve, and it'll be Fuchs to start the match for Incarnate Word with the serve. Both these teams call location for their setters, and so the setters may move to a different location on the back row to serve, and certainly a different location to serve to. That time St. John on a ball that may have been sailing out, but she had to play it, and it went off her hands and out of bounds. So first point goes to Incarnate Word. Fuchs back to serve again for Incarnate Word. This time St. John picks it up. Dory with the set.
Freshman setting a freshman.
Had to Bruni, that's right. Freshman to freshman, and that was a good hands by Dory that time.
Yeah, and Brittany did a nice job. She didn't try to kill it. She hit high off the block, placing the ball right where it needs to be. The ball doesn't always have to be hit hard to be successful.
That's right. So that was Dory with the serve. Sydney Clark with that hit for Incarnate Word. St. John with a good swing for the Indians that time. So free ball back over. Let's see what happens. There's outside to Bruni again. Picked up off the block that time for Incarnate Word. Hit it off the block of St. John and out of bounds. So point for Incarnate Word. Serving 2-1. Audrey Schaefer in to serve for the Incarnate Word Red Knights. St. John with the big swing. Picked up. Good job by Whithouse to keep that ball in play. Set to the outside to Bruni again, and that ball wasn't coming back. That was a nice swing by the freshman out there.
Actually, I think that ball was hit by St. John.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, St. John hit the ball on the outside.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Thank you. That's why you're here, for color commentary, to keep me on task. Woodhouse with a strong hit, but picked up nicely in the back row that time. Then Avery Crowley is a solid defender on the back row. Woodhouse again picked up, that time by Wandell. And that hit the floor. Good try by the Jackson defender, but could not be picked up. So Von Allman back to serve for the Red Knights. Set to the outside to St. John that time. Picked up nicely. Woodhouse with a continue to set her on that outside, and she continues to.
Yeah, she was successful
swing.
on that ball. If you notice, that ball went right between the block.
Right.
The Jackson block. The two blockers did not make connection together.
Not together.
So that ball went right between the block.
Von Allman again with the serve. Tough play that time, but nicely done. What did they call?
That was a back row attack on the Jackson setter. She contacted the ball above the net, and then the Incarnate Word player was able to touch the ball as it broke the plane. So therefore, that was a back row attack.
Gotcha. The whistles just didn't get blown loud enough, I think, to stop it at that time. But
another kill by St. John on the outside.
she was quiet. She's definitely making more noise in this second set so far than she did in the first set. She hit pretty well, but she's just, it's almost like they said, you know what? She's still out there. Let's serve. Let's set her the ball. Bruni with the serve for off the block that time. Whithouse off the block. Nice little tip that time by Molly Stevens out of the middle. That's Cameron Smith in to serve for the Red Knights. Good pick up by St. John. From the right side, cross court, picked up nicely. There's Whithouse and Dory with the pickup to the outside to Ellefson. That was Sands that time
with the block there.
With the win of that jump ball, and certainly stronger at that point. Win at the net. So 6-4. Jackson behind by 2, but with the serve. St. John back to serve for the Indians. Little bump set to the outside. Whithouse off the hands and out of bounds. She was off the net quite a ways, but she saw that set and ricocheted off that set and out of bounds. Off that block and out of bounds. And now she's back to serve. Dory with the hit off the back and in. Just right on the line. Right in front of the Incarnate Word bench, and they couldn't complain because it was right on the line. Winston back to serve for the Indians. Nice pickup. Setter slipped that time when she was trying to set that ball, and it did not go where she wanted it to go.
Jackson only trailing by 1.
7-6. Winston still serving for the Indians. Nice pickup by Fuchs. Not quite where the setter wanted it, so that was a little bit of a challenge for her. Dory with the tip over the net. Nice set across, bump set across to Ellefson, and that was a nice play. She found a nice location for that hit. So tied it up. First time we've been tied in a while, since early in the first set. Winston with the serve, picked up by Fuchs. Set to the outside to McCullough. Off the hands of the libero and out of bounds. So 8-7 now for the Red Knights. Schmidt back to serve for Incarnate Word. That's 2 in a row she served out. So she's been working that back row and trying to hit it long, but both times they've gone a little bit deep. So Jackson has the serve now. Lynn Avery Crowley back to serve for the Indians. Picked up in the middle. Hinchins with the quick set and the nice hit. The Incarnate Word bench is excited about that hit. And Fuchs is back to serve for the Red Knights. Nice pickup, set to the outside to Bruni. Bruni with the hit, but picked up nicely by Incarnate Word. Back set to Dory that time, and that's deep in the court. And the Incarnate Word player was just hoping that was going to be out.
That was a good corner. Very hard to defend the ball like that.
Dory is just long and tall and hits the ball really well from that right side. Good try, but behind the block, it was hard to pick that ball up, and you just couldn't get it. 10-9 now. Incarnate Word with the lead. Audrey Schaefer back to serve for the Red Knights. Set to the outside to St. John, picked up by Fuchs. She's a solid back row defender for sure. But there's Winston doing the same thing on the Jackson side. There's St. John with the hit off the block. Back to St. John again, this time cross court, no touch, and out of bounds. She tried to cut that a little too much on that cross court and got it out of bounds. Bruni with the hit out of the middle that time.
Nice solid swing there by the freshman.
Off of Schaefer's hands and out of bounds. Could not pick that ball up. Tell you what, these two Jackson freshmen, we talked a lot about them before the game, but they are definitely solid contributors on this team.
Absolutely they are.
Nice serve that time by Wandell and could not be returned by the Red Knights. So we're tied up again at 11-11. Another good serve. Tough pickup there by Fuchs in the back row. And out. So not able to handle that. That again, tough pass to start it off.
We just keep going back and forth.
We sure do. 1 point at a time almost. So it's 12-11 now. Von Allman back to serve again. Set across to St. John. Not sure if that was in or not, but she played it. And there's Whithouse off the block and out of bounds. She just went over the top of that block and tipped it off their hands and out of bounds. Good strong hit though.
She did a great job hitting high off the block, which is what you want to do when you got a big block like that. You can't swing down, you're not going to be successful. So she did a good job hitting high.
Bernie with the hit out of the middle that time. Picked up nicely by Incarnate Word. But they set her to the outside. There's Sands again on one of those jump balls in the middle. She's strong in that middle. St. John on the right side that time. Off hands and out of bounds.
St. John did a nice job there, taking a little bit off the ball, hitting high off the block, and of course, resulting in the kill.
So Bruni back to serve for the Jackson Indians, down 13-12. Nice serve, nice pickup by Fuchs. I don't know how they got that set ball over to her in a decent position to hit, but Woodhouse hit it, but Jackson was able to pick it up, and there's Ellison again on the outside putting that ball down. Finding a nice spot for it there, Coach.
Absolutely, did a great job.
Bruni back to serve again, tied up 13-all. Nice pass that time, Schmidt with the set to Woodhouse. Timing was a little off. Only called it. What did they call that time? I'm not sure what they called that
I'm
time.
not for sure what they called either.
It was on the block, but maybe number 2 was in the net. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
Net violation.
Yep, it was what it was. Good try that time by Dory, but that pass was just too far out of bounds. So timeout. Jackson. They're down 15-13. We're going to take a quick break and be back right after this.
We're right here at King Jerry Lawler's Hall of Fame Bar and Grill on world-famous Beale Street, and as you can see, oh my gosh, we have the best barbecue ribs in Memphis. Oh my gosh, the gumbo is out of this world, but you gotta try the King's Triple Decker Slam Burger. You'll love it.
All right, we're back here in the Jackson High School Gymnasium, where the Jackson Indians have called timeout. They're down 15-13 to the Incarnate Word Academy Red Knights from St. Louis. Incarnate Word Academy is a private all-girls school in St. Louis. They have shown some real talent over the years in volleyball. They've won 12 state championships as a school. But this last year was the first one they've won since 2005. So they'd had a kind of a drought that they weren't expecting. So
another ace serve there by the Incarnate Word.
Absolutely. Cameron Smith, who comes in and plays that back row and serves really well. She's been effective on that back row and serving. Another serve, deep, picked up. St. John with the solid swing, but picked up that time by Incarnate Word. We haven't kept track of how many swings that Whithouse has taken tonight, but she's been set a bunch of times.
Yeah, she has.
So there's another net violation. Katie St. John was in the net that time. Smith back to serve again. St. John with a really tough receive that time on that serve.
Incarnate Word serving very aggressively here, and of course Jackson, as you can tell, struggling a little bit on the serve receive. The last 4 balls has been served at them. 3 of 4 has been ace serves.
We'll stay here this time. Jackson's called another timeout, but we'll stay here through this timeout. So, Coach, what are you seeing differently? This game's a little bit closer than the last one was, or than the first set was. What do you see differently from these two teams in this set?
Well, I think, they were tied up here back and forth, and just within the last 4 points, Jackson's went into a little bit of a struggle with the receiving part of the game, which has resulted in an 18-13 lead for the Incarnate Red Knights. However, they've done a great job. I think, from what I can tell, Incarnate Word's got their defenders set properly because they know where Jackson's going off the ball. And so Shane's got his defenders in the right spots, and they've been digging a lot of hard hit balls Jackson's been trying to put down here. But here we go. We just get started, and chalk one that point up to Coach Murley because that timeout broke that serve, the girl serving long. We see that so often. A lot of times that timeout is for that reason, because she'd had about 3 serves in a row that they hadn't been able to handle, and they came back and she wasn't able to get her serve in. So I guess was she over the line? She was over the line, I believe, on the play of the ball. Okay. So you cannot cross that line. Can't get into the net or cross the line underneath the net. So St. John with the serve again. Hinchins out of the middle. Tough, didn't get a good block on that ball, and St. John couldn't handle the ball when it came to her in the back row. This Jackson Indian team, you talk about the fact that they've got several freshmen, but they graduated 9 seniors off this team, including 8 that started at some point or another during the season, 4 of whom are now playing college volleyball somewhere. So, they really lost a lot off last year's team, and they're still a solid team. Well, and they've, Jackson's got a lot of girls in that court that have seen some high-level club experience. Right. And I'm telling you nowadays, if girls don't play the club level ball, they're going to really struggle at the higher level ball at the high school. Yes. So it definitely helps and makes a big difference. Those girls seeing that high-level club that they've seen.
Right.
So it's easy to replace seniors when you got kids coming in that's played high level in the club
That's
circuit.
right. They don't play like freshmen.
No, they do not. And
that was Ellefson that time. She hit one, and it was back at her, and she hit it again. She didn't give up on it and ended up getting the point. Incarnate Word is at 20, so we always watch that. Now they're at 21. That's Hingens in the middle again, the sophomore. She's solid in the middle of that. And you mentioned in the break earlier that you felt like that Incarnate Word uses their middle a lot more than Jackson does, and that may be.
They do. If you watch the two, I mean, if I was analyzing the match, Jackson, it's very obvious they're going to go to their outsides, which is understandable. They got great outsides.
Right.
But you need to try to hold that middle block a little bit more. But if you notice Incarnate Word, they're going to shift because they pretty much know that Jackson's going to use their outsides. And
right.
Incarnate Ward's doing a pretty good job mixing the ball up between all three of their hitters.
Certainly makes that block more difficult. Schmidt was in the net that time.
Right. When you have that middle threat, it creates that middle blocker to have to hold a little bit.
Right.
So unless she's a phenomenal middle that can really read what that setter's going to do with the ball, and if you've got a great middle, and Jackson's got great middles as well, but they do push the ball to the outside a lot.
Right. Hingens again with the hit, picked up that time. Bruni on the outside. Set to the outside to McCullough that time for Incarnate Word. She hit it long.
Yeah, she was trying to go over that block. It's a pretty big block Jackson puts up there, so.
And didn't hit it off the block.
No.
So a timeout for Incarnate Word. So we'll take a break with them. It's 21-18, Incarnate Word with the lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Senator Jason Bean is proud to represent Southeast Missouri and the Boot Heel in the Missouri Senate. High school football is a positive avenue for our student athletes to build character, compete, and grow. Senator Jason Bean wishes all our student athletes and coaches a successful season.
Mathis Funeral Home of Dexter and Bernie strives to provide their community with the accommodations and services needed to relieve your family during times of loss. For more information, give them a call and see how Mathis Funeral Home can help meet your expectations in celebrating your loved ones.
And welcome back to the Jackson High School Gymnasium. We are in set number 2 of this best 3 out of 5 match. Between the Incarnate Word Academy from St. Louis and the Jackson Indians from right here in Jackson, Missouri. 2 Class 5 schools. These two they're not in the same district. Incarnate Word moved up to Class 5 this year, and they're in a district with mostly other St. Louis schools. Actually, Jackson is also in a district with mostly St. Louis schools because they're the only Class 5 school in Southeast Missouri, so it makes it hard for them to, they have to play a lot of St. Louis schools in order to get quality competition of their size. Big block that time by Dory on McCullough.
Set really well, did a great job setting that block, and of course it was successful.
And from Incarnate Word's standpoint, they had what they wanted. They had a nice set to their outside, but boy, they were on that. The big block up, and she couldn't get around it or over it. So Lynn Avery Crowley with the serve that time. Nice little tip by Sydney Clark. Nice little tip into the open space right there to the right of the block. The back row couldn't get up to pick that one up. 22-19 now, the Red Knights with the lead. Fuchs back to serve for the Red Knights. Picked up by Dory that time. Set to the outside to Bruni. Nice pickup by Whithouse. Nice defense by Jackson that time as well. Set to the outside to McCullough. Picked up by Winston. Nice little tip. A little bit out of sorts that time, but Bruni off the block and found an open space in the Red Knights defense. Lots of action, lots of defense, lots of plays at the net. This is just fun volleyball to watch.
Absolutely, it's a great match. Both teams have got a lot of talent, and it's showing here.
Dory with the serve, and so it's going to be a free ball back over, not handled well that time by the. And Bruni with a swing on the outside. Nice hit that time, and couldn't be handled by the Red Knights defense. 22-21. Back to within one with Dory back to serve. And Incarnate Word will take their second timeout. So here we are at 22-21, Coach. What are the coaches telling them during this timeout?
Well, I'm sure that Shane's telling his girls, you got to pass that last ball there. Put Incarnate Word out of system. They had to free ball the ball over, and I'm sure he's telling them, hey, girls, we've got to pass the ball. That's the first thing we've got to do is focus on the pass, get a good set, and then to make up there and swing and find the floor. And I think that's what you're going to see them do. I think you're going to see Incarnate, recollect themselves here, and they'll get a good solid pass.
I mean, they've been doing it all night. It's just, right now they've struggled with a couple of passes here recently, and so get back to that, what they were doing. You're probably right. He probably just settled them down a little bit. Coach Murley's got to be happy with the fact that his team has fought back. They got themselves 3 or 4 points behind, and they fought their way back.
And if you notice here, the Red Knights are receiving with only 2 passers. And, of course, the timeout. Yep. Chalk up another point for the coach.
That's right.
Dave did that earlier, and it worked. And then Shane just did that, and it worked for him as well. So, again, I know when I coach, I always tell my players when they go out after a timeout, just get the ball over, make them touch it.
Just get it over the net. That's right. So Schaefer back to serve for the Red Knights. Set to the outside to Bruni. Nice cut that time, but picked up nicely. And there's Woodhouse. Blocked. Back to her again. Block is up, and there's St. John with a solid block, solo block that time, and put it down. She hit that right into St. John's hands, I think.
Yeah.
It's 23-22 with Katie Wandell back to serve for Jackson. Nice set to the middle. There's Woodhouse again. I wish we'd counted how many times that she's been set tonight, but we've called her name a lot.
Again, she's an all-stater, and that's who they're going to go to when it's 23-22.
It's exactly right. You're right. So it's set point for the Red Knights. Ella Von Allman. It seems like I've called her name as serving. Seems like she serves more often than everybody else. I don't know why that seems that way, but St. John with a hit. Picked up nicely that time by Schaefer. It was a tough receive. And then St. John with the hit off the block and down. So 24-23. What an exciting match. It's just fun to watch volleyball. Avery Bruni back to serve, the freshman. Picked up by Fuchs. Outside to Woodhouse.
Out of bounds.
Off the antenna and out of bounds. Tied it up, 24-24. So nobody wins at 25 in this set. As you know, out there watching, you have to win by 2. So it's 24-24 at this point. Bruni back to serve again. That's close to the net, but handled well by Schmid. I don't know, St. John thought she was closer to the net. I'm not sure what she thought there. She just kind of turned and set that one into the net. Maybe she didn't know exactly where she was on the court. I'm not sure.
She appeared to get a little disoriented where she was at on the court, I think.
So there's Cameron Smith back to serve again. She's been very effective back there serving. St. John picked that one up nicely. Back set to St. John. Off the block, picked up. And St. John with the free ball back over. Schmid sets to the outside to Woodhouse. Off the block and down. That's set number 2 goes to the Incarnate Word Red Knights, 26-24. What an exciting match set, or match we've had tonight, even though it's now 2-0 in favor of Incarnate Word.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Incarnate Word does here. Do they kind of let their guard down a little bit with them being up 2-0, or are they going to continue the intensity that they're currently playing with? It'll be interesting to see here in set 3.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back to talk a little bit more about set number 3. And we're back inside a frigid Jackson High School gymnasium. Coach Ritter and I must be standing right under an air conditioning vent because we are both very cold. I brought my pullover, Coach, but I thought it was to go outside to the van after we were done. But I think I should have brought it in and worn it in here.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the chilly side up here.
But but it's not on the court. There's hot action on the court. They've the first 2 sets were, as good as we'd hoped they would be. Honestly, these 2 teams have come out and they've shown us so much. That set couldn't have been any better. It was back and forth the entire set. At one point in the middle of the set, Jackson let Incarnate Word get ahead of them by 3 or 4, and then fought their way back and took it to an extra point. So. What do we expect here in set number 3?
Well, like I was telling you here in the break, I'm anxious to see what happens here with Incarnate Word coming out in the 3rd set. Are they going to play with the continued intensity that they've been playing with? Are they going to kind of let their guard down a little bit? Of course, you don't need to be letting your guard down against a team like Jackson. They got strong players over there as well. So I don't think that, and I know Shane Weber knows that you can't do that.
Right.
But again, as a coach, you can tell your girls, you need to go out here and you finish it in 3, keep your intensity up. But at the end of the day, the coach isn't the one that's playing.
That's right.
So we'll see what the Incarnate Red Knights, how their mentality is when they take the court here in the 3rd set.
We mentioned that that Jackson is currently undefeated. They're 6-0 in the season. They've played several teams from outside of Missouri. They played a couple of teams from Illinois. They played Dexter. That's a conference school, SEMO conference school. But then they played their little tournament they had here this past weekend at St. Clair, Missouri, and then Dyer County, Tennessee, and North Point, Mississippi. And they had a good tournament. They're clearly a well-coached team, no doubt about that. I think that what we see is an Incarnate Word team that has a little bit more experience at key positions, and I'm very interested, and I'm probably going to have to come back up here for the Jackson tournament later on in the season because this Incarnate Word team is going to be back, and my guess is that their big hitter Tara Greenberry will be back for that tournament, and I'd really like to see what a difference she makes on this team.
Yeah, I know. I watched her play last year in the state tournament, and she plays middle for them, and they will use her a lot.
And at 6'3", she with her wingspan, she's just got to be hard to try to hit over as a middle blocker. Well, that was a great play on defense back there by Winston. And into the net. So the McCullough was in the net for Incarnate Word. So Jackson has the first point of set number 3. Dory back to serve again for the Jackson Indians. Tip the net and over. Coach, I think you've said before, if you could just teach your servers to do that every time.
I know it. We do it all the time.
It's just so hard to just a half-inch lower, that ball would have stayed on her side of the net. So.
Oh, she almost did it again.
I know. But like I said, a half-inch lower, and it'll stay on her side of the net, and it did, unfortunately, for her that time. she's just trying to keep it low, so it's hard to pick up on the other side. But that time it just tipped the net and stayed over. So 2-1 now, Jackson, with Audrey Schaefer back to serve for the Red Knights. Set to the outside to St. John, picked up nicely by the Red Knights. Woodhouse with the serve, with the set that, or the hit that time. Big block, and St. John tried to tip over it, and Woodhouse blocked it back down. Woodhouse with the swing and off of Dory's hands and out of bounds. I think Coach.
I think there was some
question of whether there was a
the
back
setter
row.
took the ball. The libero, she took the ball with her hands, and I think she might have been in front of the attack line. And if they do that, then the hitters have to stay on the floor. They can't attack the ball.
Gotcha.
And I think there was some question of whether or not the libero was in front of the 10-meter line whenever she overhanded it to the hitter.
I got you. That's a nuanced rule there. Not when you see that often, because the libero generally stays in the back row if it's hit high like that. But set to the outside to Woodhouse again. She doesn't seem to be tired or tiring. She's still hitting hard. Nice tip that she took a little off of that one, looked like, and got it down.
She did.
So Schaefer back to serve again for the Red Knights, now up 4-2. On a little bit of a run here. There's Woodhouse again. Tipped and out for another point. So that's 4 straight points with Schaefer serving. And 5 straight points for the Red Knights. Back set that time. Nice set, and a nice hit by Wandell on the right side that time. Tell you what, Dory's going to be fun to watch over the next 4 years, 3.5 years, because she's 6'2", but she sets the ball very nicely. I mean, she's going to be exceptional, I believe.
Yeah, it's always nice. She's going to be very marketable when it comes, if she chooses to play on after high school.
Absolutely.
A tall girl like that can set the ball well. She's going to get a lot of looks for some really good schools, I would think, because of her height.
That's right. Nice hit that time by Bruni out of the middle. So 6-4 now. Jackson's clawed their way back a little bit. And Bruni's back to serve for the Indians. Picked up nicely that time. Hit out of the middle by Stevens. There's Woodhouse on the outside. Picked up nicely in the back row by Bruni. Outside to Ellefson, off hands and out of bounds for a point. Ellefson's a junior on this team. I think she moved up from junior varsity. She's an addition to this team that they didn't have last year. And she's a solid player on that front. Well, all the way around, she's a solid player. Outside to Woodhouse again. Nice tip that time. Picked up and then tip and then hit out of bounds. Nice defense that time.
It was nice effort on her part. She got that and pancaked that ball right up. She did a great job. Cameron
Smith back to serve again for the Red Knights. Back set to St. John, off the hands and back to her, set back to her. Good coverage that time, free ball back over. Set across. Nice set and nice hit by Ellison again. So St. John back to serve now for the Jackson Indians.
Good cut on the ball by the sophomore.
Very nice.
Out of the middle.
So Schaefer, nice job, and now she comes out. So Whithouse back to serve for the Red Knights. Set to the middle this time to Hinchins, and picked up by Wessel. Off the block and out of bounds. Nice play that time by Jackson Indians. So Winston back to serve for the libero, back to serve for the Indians. Down 8-7. Schmidt with the bump set to McCullough. Off the block, picked up nicely. And Ellison hits that one long.
Incarnate Word just seems to hang on to their 2-point lead and can't seem to get a little more of a margin there, which Jackson's doing a nice job preventing that. So
Brooklyn Slusser in for the Red Knights. I think maybe that's the first time we've seen her in, but she's in on the front row. McCullough with the hit for the point. 10-7 now. The Incarnate Word Academy Red Knights leading Jackson Indians here in set number 3. Schmidt back to serve. Tough receive that time, and unfortunately hit out of bounds by the Jackson Indians.
Yeah.
Coach needs a timeout there. He needs to settle them down a little bit. So Coach Murley calls a timeout. We're going to take a break with him, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
My name is Kevin Rossville. I'm a farmer from Prairie County, Arkansas. Been farming since 1991. Started farming with my father-in-law when I got married. We've been raising rice ever since. We've all been looking for something for a change for years. And I think this 263L is going to be the next and up-and-coming thing for us. It's really going to work well on a lot of different ground and a lot of different farms around here.
Dynagro 263L, available exclusively at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
And we're back here in the Jackson High School Gymnasium. Coach, we wanted to thank you for spending your birthday with us tonight.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you, and we're glad you were willing to share your night with us here at Jackson High School.
Well, you know, I've been doing volleyball for many years now, and pretty much my birthday or my wife and I's anniversary, we're in the gym watching or coaching or doing something to do the sport of volleyball. So.
Not much better way to celebrate it, though.
Again, yeah, I guess so. And I've done it many years, so
right.
I enjoy it. And chalk another one up for Dave Murley there. He just scored himself another point with that coach's timeout.
Sure did.
And there again, another point for Dave Murley for a strategic timeout.
So it's 11-8 now. Oh, nice hit out of the middle that time by Henderson. She's a solid hitter out of the middle.
She's got long arms. She's got real long arms, jumps well. Just a solid little player.
Yep. So Fuchs is back to serve at 12-8 for the Incarnate Word Red Knights. Picked up by Dory, set to the outside to Bruni. Off of Fuchs. Nice play by Schmidt to get to that ball and just keep it in play. Back set to Dory. Nice defense there by Whithouse. Like I say, she's a solid hitter, but she's a solid player all the way around the court. Hitting out of the back row, just mistimed that set a little bit. Bruni had to kind of hang in the air for that one a little. McCullough with a hit right down the line and off hands and out of bounds. Good location for that hit.
Yep, she changed it up, hit cross, and then she took the ball down the line and was successful with that last swing.
So Fuchs back to serve again for the Red Knights. Good pass, set back to Dory, but out of bounds and no touch.
That ball was hit long.
So Fuchs with the back to serve again. 14-8 now, the Red Knights with the lead. Bruni that time with a hit into the block and down on the Incarnate Word side of the net. So good hit for her. Point for the Indians.
Those blockers were there. They just were not pressing over the net. Therefore, that ball fell right in front of them.
That's right. It's got to be frustrating for a coach because you want them penetrating that net and getting that ball right as it comes across the net. And she didn't hit it hard enough to back them up, so that ball, they just weren't on the net. And that last hit was in, and they thought it was going to be out. It was in, so. That's Slusser with the hit that time, number 1. She's a 5'10" senior with that solid hit deep into the Jackson court. Schaefer with the serve for Incarnate Word. St. John with the hit from the outside. Woodhouse again. St. John off the block that time. The block split the block and hit it off and down. They weren't quite ready for that one.
No, they weren't.
We haven't seen that very often where Incarnate Word was not quite ready for the block to be up. Back set this time to Slusser and down. She was very effective on that rotation. Really good job by Slusser, the senior. So Abby Jones back to serve, lefty back to serve for the Red Knights. St. John with a solid hit picked up by the libero. Big block there in the middle by Sands.
Yeah, that ball was set a little too tight on that middle, and the hitter from Incarnate just had nowhere to go but straight into the block of Sands. Right. And, of course, Sands doing a great job putting the block up.
Bruni with the serve that goes long. Now it's 17-12. The Incarnate Word with the lead. Cameron Smith back in to serve. Set to the middle that time. To Sands. Woodhouse didn't get that one over the net and down.
She doesn't hit very many in the net.
She does not.
That one she did, so.
Yeah, I'm impressed with her. There are several players in this game that I've been impressed with on both sides of the net.
Absolutely.
Lots of good talent on these two teams. Back set to Dory. Hit back over, this time outside to Ellefson. And there's Woodhouse for Incarnate Word. Set to the middle, St. John in the back row. Back outside to Woodhouse again. Picked up nicely by Winston, the libero. There's Ellefson again. off St. John. That tipped the top of the net and changed the trajectory of that ball.
Kind of got her choked up there got
her close to her face.
Yeah, and she had
not much she could do with that ball. So 17-14. St. John now back to serve for Jackson. Schmid with the set in the middle to Hinchton's. Free ball back over, but good defense tracking that ball down by the Jackson Indians. Set to Ellefson off the block and down.
Yeah, beginning to see a little here momentum change in the game a little bit. It seems to like that Jackson's picking up a little bit more momentum. And as you very well know, the sport of volleyball is a lot of momentum.
Sure is.
I figured that would be coming here by Shane Weber calling that timeout because I think he probably sees the same thing happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to stay here this time. So he's calling that timeout because he was, as you mentioned, Coach, this game is a game of runs. It's a game of momentum, and it's interesting. It's so, to me, amazing to watch how that happens. And it's not just – it's like when good things start to happen for your squad, everybody feels it.
Absolutely.
And vice versa, when you're starting to struggle, everybody starts to struggle. It's astonishing how that happens, but it happens so often. And so what does Incarnate Word have to do to kind of stop this? And then what does Jackson have to do to kind of keep it going?
Well, I think Jackson's got to keep their momentum going. They got to, capitalize on a couple of things they've just done right here in the last two plays, and they've got to try to keep Incarnate Word on the back of their heels like they're doing right now. It'll be interesting to see after Shane calling that timeout if he's able to get his girls refocused and break that momentum swing that we're beginning to see here happen with the Jackson Indians. Of course, that's his goal from taking that timeout.
First thing that's got to happen is St. John's got to get this serve in, and she does. Outside to Whithouse, picked up off the block. Ellefson with a nice hit and could not be picked up by Fuchs, the libero. So 17-16 now. St. John still serving.
There again, Jackson was there to maintain that momentum. After that timeout, it didn't quite work in Shane Weber's favor.
Right.
So we'll see what happens here with this next ball.
St. John hit that one out long. So maybe just 1 point beyond, he's still, we'll give him half a point credit there.
Exactly, I hate that. You get a momentum going like that and you serve long, but, again, she's going to have to serve aggressive because Incarnate Word's too good not to serve aggressive.
Absolutely. Because the thing you didn't want to do is just kind of give them the ball over the net so they could get themselves back into their regular service, their regular hit. Oh, good try by the libero Winston that time, picking that ball up, but off her hands and out of bounds. She dove after it, but it was just too far for her. Coach Murley's going to take a timeout. He doesn't want to get this to get out of hand very quickly because it's 19-16, and we know what happens when you get to 21st. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. We'll take a break with them.
SEMO Health Network, we strive to provide caring and affordable health care while making our patients feel welcome in our warm and friendly atmosphere. With locations throughout Southeast Missouri, we provide medical, dental, OB, and behavioral health services to anyone and everyone that may need it. Visit SEMO Health Network for your wellness exams, COVID and flu vaccinations, lab services, dental exams, counseling, and more. For more information, visit our website and let SEMO Health Network take care of you.
Welcome back inside the Jackson High School Gymnasium here in Jackson, Missouri. Reset things. We are in set number 3. Incarnate Word Academy has won sets 1 and 2. They are leading here in set number 3, 19-16 with the serve. And their best player, Ellie Whithouse, back to serve for Incarnate Word. Tipped it off the net and handled by the Jackson Indians. Set to the outside to McCullough, off the block. Picked up nicely. Hit over by Bruni. Set to the middle this time to Hingens. Another nice play on defense that time by Ellefson. She's on the floor a lot. Well, Hingens decided she would take a hard swing at that one and was very successful. Cross court that time.
If you notice, she's hitting that ball in that what we call zone 1 of the court. That's where that setter's playing in, trying to take that setter out of the offense right off the jump go. And so she did a nice job cutting the ball to her left in toward that setter of the Jackson defense.
Anytime you can get that setter to take the first hit, it throws everything else off for the offense. Right on the line. Smart play that time by Hingens. Just put it right down on the line. So it's 21-16 now. Woodhouse back to serve again. Nice set. Ellison off the block and out of bounds. Winston back to serve for the Jackson Indians. Nice pass that time. Hingen's in the middle, that tipped that, but did not get the solid hit on a good block that time by the Red Knights. McCullough on the outside, picked up nicely on defense. Back set to Dory. And Jackson could not get that ball back over the net.
Looked like a little miscommunication there at the end on Jackson's part.
Slusser back in on the front row for the Red Knights. As Schmidt, the setter, goes back to serve for Incarnate Word at 22-17. Set to the outside. Dory with a nice swing, but blocked. Back set this time to Dory on the right side and out. No touch, out of bounds, long.
It was actually about 12 inches out, looked like.
Yep. The line judge was right on it. She was keeping her eye on it.
Yeah, she didn't even have to hesitate.
Nope.
So
Schmidt back to serve again for Incarnate Word. Nice play that time by Wessel. She saw that opening and dropped that ball right into it. Very smart play by the setter. Lynn Avery Crowley back to serve for the Jackson Indians, down 23-18. Set to the outside to McCullough. Picked up by the Indians. There's Dory off the block, picked up, and they're going to call a lift on that ball. I thought they might, but then I didn't hear the whistle, so. Referees have done a nice job in this match tonight.
yeah, I know both of them. They're both seasoned officials, so
Right.
couldn't have asked for a better officiating team for this match as well.
Right. So we're at match point. 24-19 match point for the Incarnate Word Red Knights. With Allie Fuchs with the serve. Set to the outside to Bruni. Cross court, picked up by Fuchs. Set to McCullough, who finds an open spot at the back corner of the court, and that's our match. The Incarnate Word Academy Red Knights coming in, defending their state championship from last year. They are a really solid volleyball team. Coach, tell us what your impressions were of tonight's match on both sides of the net.
Well, Shane's got his team very well disciplined there. He's got him positioned on the courts really well to defend a lot of balls, hard hit balls that Jackson was doing. Jackson did a nice job as well. I think if you had to analyze both teams, Jackson probably struggled a little bit more with the serve receive than what Incarnate Word did as well, which when you look at the score, it's indicative that the serve, when Jackson did struggle a little bit with the serve receiving, took them out of their offense, and that's going to make a difference in a match like this when you've got two teams. You've got to serve, you got to receive serves well. Yep. And they seem to struggle a little bit with serve receive at times. It wasn't the entire match. It was just couple spots there within the sets, which in turn is what give Incarnate Word that there for the longest time it was a 1-2 point game, and then they get that service run when Jackson had that little bit of a struggle there on the serve receive, and that's when Incarnate Word that's when they were able to broaden that lead to a 5-6 point deficit, which in turn showed at the end of the match.
Right, and every time that happened, it was because they were Incarnate Word was serving well, and Jackson was not receiving as well as they should have. Mm-hmm. I agree. So looking a little bit at the folks that really impressed me tonight, obviously we knew about some folks coming in. We knew about Ellie Whithouse. She was every bit as solid as I had hoped she would be for the Incarnate Word Red Knights. She showed why she was All-State last year. Undoubtedly will be All-State again this year. Without Greenberry there, she carries the load for this team.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with the sophomore middle that Incarnate Word had, that Bailey Hinskins, the sophomore, 5'11", did a really nice job in the middle. At the beginning, she's tipped over there to the right a couple times. She's seen that zone that was wide open, and she just pushed it right there. And then she started swinging, and she did a really good job out of the middle. On the Jackson side of it, you have the two freshmen that did a great job. I think that the one girl, the freshman, you see here, Dory, she had a few hit balls that were hit long. She swung it, but what I admire her for though is she kept swinging aggressively. She didn't back down from the swing. So she just you give her at the end of the year, it's going to make a difference on those shots. It's hitting long, and maybe she'll keep them in, as time progresses. So nice job from those two freshmen on the Jackson team.
100%.
Definitely.
Katie St. John showed her leadership as as the senior leader on that team. But I was impressed with both teams. This Jackson team is certainly, I think, the cream of the crop in Southeast Missouri for
absolutely.
Sure, without a doubt. But, they just ran up against a team tonight that has so much talent and is so, even though they've moved up to Class 5, they'll challenge for Class 5 state championship this year.
Absolutely. And, these two teams could probably be seeing each other, in the state tournament when if both teams would happen to win their district, they could probably be more than likely going to see each other in that sectional round.
That's correct. Well, we thank you for joining us. This has been a great night tonight. One of the best volleyball matches, especially a 3-set volleyball match that I've seen in a long time. A couple of evenly matched teams, just a couple of points in the middle that got Incarnate Word out ahead, and then they didn't look back. They didn't make a lot of mistakes. They made a lot of solid plays throughout the night and came out with the win in 3 sets. So. Congratulations to them. Congratulations. I say congratulations to this Jackson team. They definitely came ready to play tonight, and I think played very well.
Oh yeah, Jackson has nothing to be ashamed of. No reason to, drop their heads. They played against a great team, and and it shows that they can play with the good team. So
absolutely.
It's early in the season.
That's right. They'll hopefully get a chance to see each other again in the Jackson Invitational Tournament later on in the season, and then maybe in the playoffs as well. So, for Coach Carl Ritter on his birthday, happy birthday again, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm Philip Britt, thanking you for joining us here on Aycorp Sports. We will be back tomorrow evening. Coach Ritter won't be with me, but Coach Gentry Vansel will be with me. We will be at Clarkton for the Gideon-Clarkton matchup. That's a rivalry that goes back generations. So we look forward to that opportunity to see those two Class 1 District 2 opponents. So we'll see you back there tomorrow night, and stay safe. Thanks for joining us on Aycorp Sports.